So I was looking at your record, man,
Yeah.
and I was talking to Cody Brundage actually 2 weeks ago or a week ago, and he mentioned that you guys fought as
Yeah.
amateurs, and I was like, I didn't even think of that. And then I looked at your record, and Cody's not gonna lie about it. You
Yeah.
fought and defeated Cody and Impa Kansanganai, right? Two guys that are doing very well for themselves in
Mm-hmm.
MMA, and this
Yes,
was
sir.
just only a few years ago. How does it feel to see guys that you beat as an amateur later on fighting at the highest level alongside you? When most guys, when you fight as an amateur, you never hear your opponents again.
No, man. I mean, it was really bittersweet, to be honest. It was really bittersweet because on one hand, it gave me a lot of confidence going into my pro career. Just knowing that, I me and my coaches, we went out and looked for the best fights we could. You know what I'm saying? I mean, my last amateur fight, I lost a split decision to a guy named Billy Olicano. I mean, look out for that guy. That guy is super talented, hardest hitter I've ever gone against. Period, pro or amateur. You know what I mean? So I'm sure that's going to be another person where people, he's going to be in the UFC eventually. But it was definitely tough at certain points because both Cody and Impa, it took me I got canceled on 9 times before I actually had my first pro fight. I had 9 dropouts, and so uh, Impa and Cody, they kind of once they started their pro career, they just kind of got off and started moving. And I mean, obviously things are never how they seem. I'm sure they had their own individual struggles, but yeah, they just started progressing through their pro career so much faster than me. It was definitely hard to watch for a little while because I was like, yo, what's wrong with me? Why can't I get these matchups? Why can't I do this? Why can't I get on the contender series? You know what I mean? But all's well that ends well. Now, like you said, everyone's doing well. We're all, Cody just, knocked out Trey Sean. I beat Trey Sean in
Yeah.
February. Uh, and so, it gave me a lot of confidence. And then especially seeing how these guys are doing now, it keeps on uh, giving me confidence because especially when I fought them, I'd only been training for like 2 years. You know what I mean? Like, period. I didn't have any background in the sport. So I just kind of like jumped in and started fighting people. And so, yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. I'll say that much. It's cool.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely cool, man. You've done really well for yourself, man. The Ultimate Fighter winner. Like, how many guys go on from that and become champion, like UFC champions? It's very. It happens more often than you think.
It. I'll tell you what. Winning the Ultimate Fighter, if you don't if you're not happy with that, then you have the chance to really do something. And I think
Mhm.
those are the guys who went on to become champions. They realized that winning the Ultimate Fighter wasn't just winning a trophy; it was winning this golden opportunity, and you got to make the most of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's definitely what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to, make the most out of this opportunity and all the opportunities that have been opened up to me since I won the show, and eventually work my way to a title. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And the reason why I brought up Brundage and Kasanganai is because that fight was at 205, and this fight coming up against Sato, you're going to be dropping down to welterweight. What is behind the weight drop? Because you had so much success at 185.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'll tell you. And fun little story. I'm not gonna spend too long. When I fought Impa, I was actually supposed to fight for the 205 amateur title, and then both of our opponents dropped out. And so my coach one of my coaches at the time just hit me up. He was like, "Hey, just so you know, in 2 weeks you're fighting for the 185-pound title." And I was like, I was eating a cookie when he told me that. I was like, "Oh no!" I was I fought on Friday. We have same day weigh-ins in North Carolina. So on Monday I was 222 pounds. By Friday I was 187 pounds. So and then I fought Impa that night, and we fought for 5 4-minute rounds for the 185 amateur title. So that was yeah. You talk about weight loss and success at
Mhm.
different places. It's been a crazy ride. The weight fluctuation and whatnot. Dropping down to welterweight was something I never thought I was going to do because, like you said, I was doing well at 85. I didn't have any, you know, I wasn't really pressed. I wasn't really, afraid of anybody. But, like I said, since I've won tough, I've had more opportunities. I've had an ability to train more. You know what I'm saying? Focus on my nutrition a little bit more. And after I fought Trey, I was actually trying to get bigger. I had started doing more weight training and athletic training, and taking in more protein. I thought I was gonna just like put on muscle and just get stronger. Have a fill out my frame a little bit for the division. And as I was doing that, I just kept on losing weight. You know what I'm saying? And so about 3 weeks after the Trey fight, I did a test cut down to 170. It went well, and I hit up my manager and I was like, "Hey, brother, I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's get this thing cooking out at 170. Let these dudes know that I'm coming down there to beat them all up." You know what I mean?
All right. And are you working with the PI to help you with like dieting and all that stuff, or do you have someone separate?
It I have down here. I get some meal prep
Mhm.
from Wayne Preps food. So that's, no UFC affiliation. Uh, I'll get my food from the PI when I get out to Vegas, but right now, no. I mean, they're all the way across the country.
Yeah.
I do get my weight cut procedures from them. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no. Right now, it's just kind of little bit of real science, a little bit of bro science. You know what I'm saying? Just little bit of
Yeah.
this, little bit of that, just making it happen. You know what I mean?
Definitely, definitely. Anything you can reveal, like any changes, like lifestyle changes that you've had to make the last couple of months.
Man, I tell you, I mean, like, and it's funny because since I won the show, people are like, oh yeah, like if I don't do stuff that I used to do, people are like, Brian's big time now, Brian's this, Brian's that. And I mean, it's because what coincided with me winning the show was me and my wife, we got guardianship over my 13-year-old nephew who's 14 now. So he moved in with us.
Mhm.
I had my baby was born in October, and so my life just really flipped upside down really quick. I won tough. My nephew came to live with us. We had a baby, and so yeah, lifestyle wise, I'm just it's crazy because you know. With the young kids, you know what I'm saying, with the baby, with the with my nephew, it definitely, you can't live life like you used to.
Mhm.
You can't live life like you did when you were single, and you have to, kind of look in the mirror sometimes, because you get frustrated. You know what I'm saying? Like there's definitely times where you have to change and you don't want to change, and you have to look at yourself and you have to, really think about what you're doing and why you're doing it, and what's important, and you have to uh make tough decisions, and have to separate yourself a little bit, not just because you think you're better than anybody, but just for me, I'm living day to day right now. It's like
Mhm.
I train my ass off, and then I do my best to like take care of the people around me, um but overall, I just say it's made me a better person. It's made me more focused. I didn't know I could work this hard. I've always been known for being a hard worker, but it's like it's been ratcheted up to another level. I've like become a real man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I was a man before, but now it's like it's different. And then on top of that, I mean, just training. Like I said, I mean, training wise, it's just I have more access to more things. I'm doing boxing privates. You know what I'm saying? I'm able to go grapple with some of the best grapplers in the area more frequently. You know what I'm saying? I can get MMA privates. That's stuff that I wasn't able to do before. I
Mhm.
had to do with what I had, and now I can really start customizing my schedule and tweaking things so that I can be the best fighter I can be. And uh, right now I feel good, man. I feel
Yeah.
really, really good. So, yeah, man, it's just been a lot. It's been a lot, but it's all been good at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I was gonna ask you. Is like physically, you probably feel phenomenal, and we'll probably see a new version of you, the way you look, especially with 15 pounds, just dropped off.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm walking in the high 80s right now, which is the
Mhm.
lowest I've walked since I was in like seventh grade. You know what I mean? But like, I'm stronger than I was in my last fight. I'm faster than I was in my last fight. So that was the crazy thing, is I was losing weight, but I was still getting stronger. You know what I mean? And that's what a lot of people were concerned with when I first told them I was going to 170. Everyone, because everyone's really afraid of cutting weight. You know what I'm saying? I blame Joe Rogan for this. Joe Rogan's, been putting out that propaganda about cutting weight. And, people hear you're dropping a weight class. And especially kind of like you said, I mean, if I was doing well at 185, people are like, why are you going to drop? If it ain't broke, why fix it? And, we're trying to optimize things out here. Champions don't just settle for things that are good. Champs, you know, they strive for the best possible situation for themselves. And so, that's what I'm doing. Maybe one day I go back up to 85. Got a lot of people saying my name at 185, so I'm gonna have to go up there and beat up some eventually. But no, right now it's about just being the best fighter I can be. Period.
Mhm. For sure. And August 6th, man, you're facing Takashi Sato, the most experienced fighter to date. The guy has fought all over the world. He has faced some of the best welterweights that are fighting right now in the UFC. What do you think of his fighting style?
Dude, I mean, he's a dangerous dude. Like you said, I mean, he's fought all over the world. I'm jealous of the places that he's fought. I mean, granted, he was born on the other side of the world. But I was always a big pride guy. In my head, I always thought I'd go fight overseas in Japan before I got to the UFC. That's how I'd work my way up. And it's just there's so many things that are cool about this. Like you said, I mean, he's the most experienced person I've ever fought. This is like the first truly like international guy I fought. So it's like now I can really, when I say I'm one of the best fighters in the world, I can, legitimately say that because I've beaten fighters from different parts of the world, and he's somebody with, even though right now he's on a little bit of a skid and his UFC record's upside down, both of his wins have come by knockout. You know what I'm saying? So, obviously the guy's the real deal, and, even though the Gunnar Nelson fight wasn't great, Gunnar Nelson couldn't tap him out in 15 minutes with a lot of ground control. So, Takashi's not a joke, man. You know what I'm saying? He's a very serious guy, and it gets me really excited when I think about it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna go out there and put on a show, and you know, with everyone I fought up to this point, people could say this, people could say that, but after I, put on a show against somebody of the caliber of Takashi, then I really make my stamp and let everyone know that I'm UFC caliber, and I'm going to start marching up the ranks.
Yeah, if you look at him and if you look at the matchup, people are going to point to the strength and size that you'll bring into this fight. Is that something that's going to be important in this fight, or do you feel like you could win this fight without the strength and size? You're going to show people that you could win fight just off the skills.
Listen, my ego's not that big. You know what I'm saying? I could
Mhm.
absolutely win the fight just off skills, but I mean, the you know if skills equal, you know what I'm saying, your conditioning makes a difference, your strength makes a difference, your speed makes a difference. You know what I'm saying? None of those attributes are attributes to look down on. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing to boo hoo or make someone feel like they're not as good of a fighter just because they're using their speed or whatnot. If I have an advantage on you, I'm going to use that. You know what I mean? Like that's the name of the game. We're all looking for a little edge that's not illegal. You know what I'm saying? We're all looking for a little edge that won't get us in trouble. And if I go in there and I just feel like I'm way stronger than him, then the whole game plan might just go out the window, and I might just straight up
Yeah.
just try to manhandle him. You know what I'm saying? If I go out there and I feel like I'm way faster than him, then I'll just sit there and just you know snipe him from the outside. Because me and my coaches, we got a game plan. We have things that
Yeah.
we like, things we want to do, but we're both fighting for half of our checks. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm fighting to put bread on the table for my family to make a better life for us. So, there's no shame in my game. I'm trying to go out there and make a statement by any means necessary.
What do you expect more of? Do you expect more of the outside fighting, or do you expect to be uptight and close? What are you expecting in this fight? Your first fight at 170.
Man, it's definitely gonna have to see how fast he is. You know what I'm saying? I've watched the tape, but I won't really know how fast he is until I get in there with him and get a gauge of what his speed is like. And like I said, there's a lot. I see a lot of opportunities for myself on the outside in clinch
Mhm.
range and grappling. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to spill the beans too much, but I do think that I'll be able to get him out there in 2 rounds. You know what I'm saying? Before the second round's over with. So, I'm busting my ass. you can't just have one plan. You got to have multiple plans, and that's why we're out here busting our ass so that there's no way I lose this fight. So we'll definitely see. Takashi's a little bit of a puzzle, and so I just got to figure out the best way to solve that puzzle and then just get on it. You know what I mean?
In your last fight, against Trey Sean, did you deviate from the game plan, or did you effectively execute the game plan?
So with Trey, what was interesting about that is it like yes and no. Definitely the moving and the little like little pot shots I was hitting him with, that was definitely a part of the plan. What threw me off a little bit was how tentative he was. Because there was a point in time where, I was just going to start walking forward on him. And it almost happened in the fight regardless. And, I let the commentators and some of the people yelling from outside get in my head a little bit because people were like, you got to move. And I was like, damn, dude, I feel like I'm doing good right in front of this motherfucker. But, it definitely, because when someone's not throwing, it's just hard to get timing on them. You know what I'm saying? It's really hard to, feel comfortable going forward when someone is just like waiting for one shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They can miss with all their shots and they're just waiting for one shot, and you can't get their timing, so it's hard to anticipate things. That's why I got sympathy for people like Stylebender. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't understand what it's like when someone is not necessarily willing to engage, not willing to put themselves out there. But at the same time, if you put yourself out there because you get impatient and you want to impress the fans, then you get knocked out. You know what I'm saying? So it takes two to dance. And then, things definitely went sideways about halfway through that second round. I got hit with two really good shots. And, that was a great fight because I learned so much. I made so many mistakes, but I still got the W. You know what I mean? So, if me and Trey fought again, you could definitely anticipate it being different on both sides. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, he changed. I mean, he didn't really change what he does a lot. He just changed how he does it. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to continue to grow, especially after this last Cody fight. But, if me and Trey ever fought again, I imagine it'd be a much different looking fight.
Well, man, you're not fighting Trey. You're going to fight Takashi Sato,
absolutely.
August 6th. Bryan, appreciate the time, man. All the best in the fight, and hopefully we see you one more time this year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hopefully, I would love to fight Takashi and get. I think they're talking about having a fight card in Atlanta in September. I would love to be on that card.
For sure.
I'm saying that'd be the closest I'd fought to home since like 2019. You know what I mean? So, man, I'm trying to snatch next cash checks. You know what I mean?